Gnomes.
Yeah, you're kind of right. That's exciting. I didn't even know that I was supposed to be excited about that.
There's got to be something Hearthstone.
There's got to be something. That's pretty cool.
We'll figure it out. But let's take a look at our first match. Again, it's CompLexity taking on Planet Odd. Planet Odd has been struggling a little bit in the Trinity Series here.
Right. They're like 1-3, right?
Yeah, and surprising to me. They have the spring and the summer champion on Planet Odd.
Right, and not to mention, Zixo's a really solid player as well. So their whole team is very strong individually, and you'd think they'd be really strong as a team as well since they've been playing together for so long. As a group, they often stick together through a lot of organization switches even.
It's awful cold in here. I got like a chill down my spine. This is really what makes Trinity Series different from most tournaments, though. All 9 classes are represented across the board amongst both teams. At the start of the match, they will ban 2 of the opposing classes. They will not be available for play in that set. Of the 7 remaining, they'll choose 6 of those to come to battle with. So one of them will be left behind, and from there they'll play a last hero standing match where the first team to take 6 wins takes the set.
Yeah, and hopefully we maybe see some different bans. It's been so consistent with the bans. A lot of teams, it's the later weeks now. We're into week 5. They have a really, similar ban strategy now. Everyone's kind of figured out the format. Not too many teams have been shaking it up all that much. Love You Lots will play later today. Really shook up the, pick ban last week. But it looks like CompLexity and Planet Odd are just sticking with the tried and true, getting rid of Priest and Druid and not bringing Hunter. Sorry, I just realized the Death Knights were there.
Getting a little bit frozen.
Yeah.
in your words right there. I don't blame him. Druid and Priest, they're definitely beatable. They require a lot of cards to do so. There you see it. Crane is going to be piloting Mage and Warlock. Mr. Yagut is going to be on Rogue and Warrior. And then Tyler himself is going to be on Paladin and Shaman.
Sounds pretty solid.
Even though they'll be competing individually and piloting those decks, they will be collaborating as a team. So important to have that delegation set up properly. There you see it. Zixo is going to be on Shaman and Warrior. Hoy is going to be on Paladin and Warlock. And Surrender is going to be on Rogue and Mage. I don't know. That just seems like who they are to me.
Really?
Like if I had to put personalities of those guys and like what I imagine they would play like.
Those classes?
Kinda, yeah.
Really? Huh. Well, then it makes sense. That's why they picked them. I wonder if we're going to see the bird today. Hoy's got his little pet bird that usually chimes in, chirps up in a storm.
Pidgey's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
You know it. I mean, Pidgey showed up on camera. They started putting up wins.
That's true.
Suddenly, Pidgey, he was hanging out somewhere else.
Every good team needs a mascot.
Yeah, that's a good one to have in the background there for Mr. Yagut.
Lots of trophies and Edwin Van Cleef. That guy will get you some trophies, that's for sure.
Ooh. I said yesterday, he's not Ed Lewis Van Cleef.
Yeah. He was able to definitely upset some unfavorables. Yagut would definitely want to see that Edwin Van Cleef this game, but already pretty solid hand for the matchup. It looks like Planet Odd going with the kind of newer deck, the Warlock Zoo. A lot of people have been doing Control Warlock for quite a while, but Zoo has started breaking out over the last couple of weeks and putting up really good numbers, so more teams have started bringing it, and it's going up against the Rogue from CompLexity, which looks like a pretty standard tempo Rogue.
Yeah, Zoo has been, I think, a big talking point for all the players on Planet Odd at some point. They are very adept, aggressive players.
Right.
And they will see some unique moments to make turns awkward for the opponent.
If we look back, 2015, that was the first time anyone had ever held #1 Legend on all servers at the same time, and that was Zixo with Zoo in 2015. He held #1 Legend on NA, EU, and Asia at once with Zoo. So they are definitely players that are experienced with this style of deck.
Yeah. Of course, Tyler was, I believe, the second player to duplicate that, where he was held all 3 at once with Shaman during the Aggro Shaman era.
Sure, yeah. So both of these players, wow, there's just so many incredible players participating in this event. But
I've heard a lot of talk about the 1-drops in this matchup too, like Flame Imp. I mean, that's a scary one to face down, but the 1/3s are so much better in this matchup.
Right, it's because of Backstab, because of SI7 Agent. The 2 health from the Flame Imp's just so vulnerable to those effects that they can just remove it instantly, whereas the 1/3, it doesn't die to just a Backstab. They need a little bit more, the Backstab and the Pirate. But looking at CompLexity's hand, you can't really ask for too much more. They got double Backstab in a matchup where you have to fight for the board aggressively. So
and Karen followed up. I mean, by Championships, Purple said that he kept Karen versus aggro. He said it's good. He said you have so many early game tools that you just fight them on par.
Wow.
He was doing that too. He was winning.
I might have to talk to Purple about that, because that doesn't sound right at all.
It didn't sound right to me either, but then I would watch it in practice.
Interesting. I mean, I've played with Purple a lot. He's been a practice
he was
partner
the
of mine.
coach of Archon for a very long time.
Yeah, he was like the coach of me in 2014 when I had my most success. But let's hear it in on CompLexity and see what's going on with their coaching.
I still want to keep the coin for Kern, kind of.
Yeah, I think like it's just backstab dagger, but we can think about this coin Shaku because what will he play on 3? It's most likely a 3-drop.
What if he coin Shaku?
What is the reason to not play deck? Like, is it better to dagger than just play deckhand then?
I kind of like backstab dagger. Like, I really want to keep the coin for... Like, we have so many 5-drops, and we might want to coin out Kern as well, right?
What if you want... Okay, Crane has a point though. What if you backstab that and play deckhand and they play 3-drop like a councilman? Then we can actually kill it right away. But I think like...
We can also do next turn if you really want to.
Yeah, just deck. I like
Just
it. We
deck
also
it.
have, like, even just the unwilling sacrifice, honestly, there could be some weird scenario where having also the 1-drop can combo like a Vile Spine or something.
Yeah, like we...
It's not Edwin.
It's not Edwin, it's not Prince. It's not Edwin, it's not Prince. It might be SI if they drew Wildspine afterwards, I guess. They want to save the coin for Wildspine. So yeah, could be SI still
Obviously Captain,
probably.
right? Maybe they wouldn't.
I mean, there's a chance it's just they kept SI, but because they drew Wildspine afterwards, they didn't play it right. That's a wooden.
Shaku, right?
Let's think. Shaku or Dark Reaper?
Yeah, Shaku for sure.
Shaku has to be better.
The later you wait with Shaku, the worse it gets. Takri can protect the Shaku next turn, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we get the attack in as well.
Shaku's much better.
Yep. Pretty
It's also
sure.
better against Doomguard, maybe. Because we might deckhand into Unwilling first.
Yeah,
And not even attack with Shaku. But
4.
Sure. It makes sense for them to keep like Shaku with double backstab and
Let's just go face with Shaku first, right? We're never gonna trade Shaku. Worst case scenario, we just trade deckhand, patches, and dagger. No, wait. We
we
don't
have no patches.
nah, it's fine. Like, we can just leave up the 5-4 even, I think, right?
Um,
I don't want to
Doom
trade
Guard.
into it with the Shaku and the...
Can we deckhand into Unwilling, so?
I mean, that is an option. I don't really think so. Like, I would
is.
just go deckhand Takriba.
Say
that
plays a
plays into
4-5.
plays into the 4-5. I think you go face first though, and see what you get.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Don't think you play it, right? It's not worth it.
No.
I think just Thor is fine.
Yeah, I definitely want to play Tar.
Do we play deckhand as well?
I don't know.
I will play
I
it.
would do it as well. Like, I understand the 4-5, but I'm actually a little bit more worried about a Doomguard.
Doomguard is pretty scary here.
Downright spooky.
That guy's despicable, though. Look at center of the hand. Leader in the middle.
The leader always goes in the middle, that's for sure. You'd probably prefer a Doomguard, though, because Planet Oz is barely scraping by. They're really behind on tempo.
Well, I think the 4-5 is pretty good here. You know, that's something to really look at for CompLexity, is that this South Sea deckhand was I think quite powerful, not only with the sacrifice that they picked up from the Shaku, but also just, you know, with Bone Mirror down the line, with any combo they pick up.
Well, they have the coin to activate combos, but yeah, they don't have
2
the
damage worth it? Because they're coining that Cairn next turn.
It does seem like that it may have been a mistake. It was kind of a last-minute decision by CompLexity to end up developing that South Sea deckhand.
Maybe Planet Odd looks at this and goes, oh, they want us to play Despicable Dreadlord.
Maybe. There's a lot of hesitation on here because they could also play Malchezaars and Crystal Weaver to have more stats in play, but
so good.
yeah. They could even just Crystal Weaver Soulfire just to get rid of the Shaku.
Look at this. They're gonna hold back on the attack. I really like this actually too, because this puts a lot of pressure to answer both minions in play.
Right. This way the Crystal Weaver doesn't just die to the dagger from CompLexity.
And the next turn they have the Imp, Crystal Weaver, and the Soulfire. Kill the Tar Creeper, run over the rest of the stuff. Smart play.
Seems fairly solid, sure.
I mean, I'd be pretty scared if I was in Complexity's spot.
Horrified even. I don't think you're going Karen here, though, do you?
Well,
you're saying that it
anymore.
gets so much value, right, in this kind of matchup. You said you would even keep it against aggro.
That's what Purple said.
That's what Purple said.
And then I started doing it, and it started working.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Blood Queen Lanethel. 1/6 gets +1 attack for each card that you've discarded this game and has lifesteal.
Pair that with a Cold Blood, that's a lot of life gain later on, which is some pretty sweet healing in Rogue, but they don't really need that effect now. Maybe they do just have plenty of time to play the Karen and start taking some trades. They are at 30 life. It looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're playing the Lotus Assassin as well, which to me says that there's no Cobalt Scalebait in the deck.
Right.
I played with Lotus Assassin quite a bit, and it kept getting Dragonfire Potion. I was like, okay, I need Scalebait or Bittertide here. But when you're banning both those decks, it makes a lot more sense to have Lotus Assassin, I think. It fights super well for board.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense, but let's hear what Planet Odd's going to be doing about this Doomguard top deck that is absolutely huge.
Crystal Weaver Soulfire or Imp Doomguard, right? That's not
Yeah.
a play.
That's the thing I'm thinking about.
I'm pretty sure it's a Doomguard.
Possibilities.
Maybe Doomguard traded 4-5 into the... Actually, the trades Doomguards are kind of awkward since you already get the good trades on board right now.
We could also go for the Malchezaar Crystal Weaver and hope we discard Bone Maw.
Possibilities.
Yeah, but...
I guess like both of the discards is fine, so maybe we just play the Soulfire.
Yeah, I think Soulfire is better. Soulfire owns 3-4.
We play Imp first and then play the 4-drop, right?
Yeah.
Soulfire.
And
Then we
you
play
trade
what?
Shaku.
Use Soulfire they can.
We go face for the 5-6, right?
Yeah. And trade with 5-4.
Sure. Is this the Corrupting Mist turn? Like, they're gonna have to make trades.
I wonder.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, you bump into the 2-4 and then Corrupting Mist? Or to at least play around the second Doomguard?
So many.
And then pass or what?
I think you can play Blood Queen. Because that can heal us.
And we don't have
fuck, you
mana.
can. Ah, shit. Like, I think you want to play something so that it heals us a bit. Like, you can play, like, Firefly.
You could play Firefly and Defend Cleave as well. I don't think they get through
But then
all of
they
it.
trade into that turn, and we don't
That's
get
They
fine.
can't trade all of it. They can't trade all of it.
Okay, so trade in 2-4 Corrupting Mist and then just play some minions. Because, like, we're getting a bit low. It's up to you if you want to play that.
I don't know if I like this.
Just did not.
It's really
Clear,
hard
right?
to clear everything here. So we tap
So-
first.
1 second. I think so too, but it's 1 second thing. We ignore the 1-2, right?
We have to ignore it since...
I mean, we can play the
Oh,
road.
right, you can play the second Dreadlord to kill it.
I wonder.
Yeah, we do
Okay,
that.
yeah, so just tap. But
Then trade the 5-6
no, we
into the
don't.
4-2 round.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't matter if 5-6 or 5-4.
All upon us.
Yeah, trade both to his big guys in the second Dreadlord.
Job's done.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty straightforward, right? Assassin
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
None see the lotus.
Yeah, I'm also not sure about the Edwin. Now we
No,
lose
I'm not
value.
sure either, but it heals us like a lot, and it stocked the.
Oh, it's sweet.
Yeah.
So
So you flame in Boma.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have like 3 Warlock cards on him? I think.
It's getting awfully close.
Yeah, the tech from CompLexity is really pulling its weight there. We see they have Eviscerate, which means they're running that over Prince Keleseth. They have this new card on the field, the
Lotus Assassin.
Assassin over the Cobalt Scalebane.
Yeah, it's not doing work here, though.
It's looking,
Many options.
yeah, not as great as maybe Cobalt Scalebane would have been this game, but it's
It's
pretty
about the same, I'd say.
it's pretty cool to see him trying a bunch of different tech choices, a bunch of different things, because for so long we've seen players in the tournament continue to ban Priest but still run Cobalt Scalebane and everything, which Cobalt Scalebane initially was introduced in the metagame as a tech choice against Priest.
It's turned out to be a good card.
Yeah, and then they just stuck around after that, but
You're like, oh, this is great.
I just like it. I like people trying new things. People trying, the Assassin as well as now Bittertide Hydra, it seems, is in there over maybe the second Cobalt Scalebane.
So many options.
Oh, boy.
Wow, they are taking some damage.
That's a lot.
Holy smokes.
That's probably more damage, I think, than they anticipated taking. Because
Yeah.
second Bone Rare is in hand for Planet Odd. And if I'm in CompLexity's spot, this looks like a horror movie.
Well, I would play double Serenite Chain Gang here as Planet Odd. You're going to have something stick. Rogue has almost no area of effect abilities currently.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're going to put these taunts in the way. You're going to guarantee this 8/8's not connecting to your face because you only have 12 life. That's very scary. You don't know what these Warlock cards could be, but it just seems suspicious that they're not killing this 7/6, right?
It does. And so something I'm thinking about is can Planet Odd start to piece together some reads here? Like they're useless cards or they are, I don't know. Let's find out what they think.
Also, you could have Siphon Sword.
I mean, Siphon Sword is fine if you play double chain gang, but
Yeah.
it's like Hellfire or the Abyssal that kills
I
us.
still
right?
like the double chain game.
Okay.
I like Tap Bone, I think. But do what you think. I don't know what the odds are.
Not trust
what
surrender.
cards we can put them on. Yeah, okay.
And we go face. We
Yeah,
could
like
trade.
that. You have to pay. No. Not trade. If we lose it.
That's really bad for us, huh?
Yeah, we are just that.
Nothing you can do. So if
With some random taunt, we might just lose. Like, for example, the Warlock Tark Reaper or whatever. We would probably lose to if we
I think
played.
maybe we should. It's also worse against Tristing Nether. Damage though.
I wonder. I get
Warlock kind of sucks, boys.
That's a 1-0 lead for Planet Odd, and that is now 7 straight wins with Warlock on the Trinity Series that we've seen.
Yeah, because yesterday we had that G2 6-2 with Warlock at the end there against Tempo Storm. So Warlock is just so powerful, and this is even a different archetype than what swept with yesterday.
That's right.
It's such a versatile class. It took a really long time for Warlock to emerge in this metagame because, back in Ungaro metagame, it was considered the weakest deck. And now with Knights of the Frozen Throne, it is definitely a top-tier competitor.
Look what they picked up. They got Despicable Dreadlord.
Yeah.
They got Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Blood Reaver Gul'dan's absolutely
Those
nuts.
are 2 incredibly powerful cards. Something that Warlock, I think, was really missing was a way to deal with small, wide board positions. Not only that, but they got Defile to go along with it.
Yeah. Speaking of Warlock cards, I think actually CompLexity had some opportunities as the Rogue to use some Warlock cards, and they kind of missed some of those opportunities, and they got some of those Warlock cards stuck in their hand. The Unwilling Sacrifice never saw play. There was a few opportunities where they could have made something happen with it, and then they could have used some of, like, maybe it's not the best play that turn, but then they could use some of their less situational cards on future problems.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking too. I would have liked to see the South Sea deck handheld until the right moment. Playing it into turn 5, I mean, you're going to run into Despicable Dreadlord with that a lot.
Especially with the opening here for Planet Odd. They tapped a bunch in the early stages of the game. They had kind of weaker, suboptimal turns, so you can kind of expect they're probably holding on to something bigger, which means Blood Reaver Gul'dan, Bone Mirror, or Despicable Dreadlord. Those are the big things in that deck.
And to me, that's what they held the Unwilling Sacrifice for, and they play the South Sea deck into turn 5, anticipating Bogard, and then having the extra mana unlocked to play the Unwilling Sacrifice turn after. But
sure, they anticipated the Doomguard, but not the Dreadlord.
Yeah, you get punished by the Dreadlord is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you invite them to Dreadlord before they Doomguard sometimes. So, I mean, they're not going to have both all the time, of course, but when your 5-drops are quite as polarized as Zoos are right now, it's tougher to really make a strong decision against that turn 5 play.
Yeah, Zoo as a deck has gotten so much more powerful with the latest expansion. What is CompLexity going to do to stop it?
Well, Zoo is a deck that I think has quite good matchups across the board. Even in its unfavored scenarios, you still just have a lot of big minions to play. Just really big stuff.
This is the most traditional Zoo counter there ever was. Ever since 2014, Zoo has been getting hard countered by Freeze Mage, and CompLexity taking us back, countering Zoo with Freeze Mage yet again.
And there's no Nerubian eggs.
It's probably easier. Or is it easier? Because Zoo's so much faster now. And they have the Gul'dan for the healing.
Nerubian egg really hurt Doomsayer turns.
But still, like, Gul'dan, man. That's so much healing. Zoo's never had healing before.
It's true, but the idea of the Burn Mage is you want to kill him before that healing gets online.
Right, but
this isn't too hard. I mean, Zoo has to tap aggressively to find resources.
Right.
That was a matchup where you didn't need Alex Strauza to begin with. They are free to really play a little bit more risky, I think, when Planet Odd's almost never sticking anything in the face of Doomsayer.
They're never sticking anything in the face of the Nova Doomsayer either. CompLexity picks up, like, one of the best hands you can get against Zoo.
Yep.
Currently, there's not really many Death Rattles in Zoo. There's oftentimes not a Crazed Alchemist or a Spellbreaker because you have to make room for the Demon package.
Doomsayer comes back. He's like, yeah, you'll want me again.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crane with a smile on his face, like, yep, this is about as good as it gets.
They might run into trouble, though. Prince Keleseth for Planet Odd. It's crazy powerful. If Planet Odd can find the Death Knight.
Well, this is actually a big deal in this matchup. This was a card that I think really changes the landscape of how some of these traditional matchups work, where CompLexity is free to just simply hero power the 1-health stuff, and stuff just gets damaged by Arcanologists and by these valets. Eventually, it dies to hero power.
AoE clears things pretty efficiently.
A lot of times, that's just not the case anymore.
Right.
Now, Arcaris Veteran is a 3/2 off the top.
Right.
Instead of just the 2/1 that is in hand. So the one in hand's quite poor right now, but.
Oh, look at that Doomguard.
Yeah, and this is where it starts. And Prince Keleseth in a long game is where it finds its most value.
And that's just like one of the power levels in the spikes that Zeus went through. It's like a pretty good deck without Prince Keleseth.
Yeah.
We saw last game it was able to defeat the Rogue without having Prince Keleseth. But then you add last year's standing where your opponent gets to counter Q you with a deck designed to beat your deck. And then you can just throw this curveball at him with Prince Keleseth, and you can really change things. But let's hear what Planet Odd's thinking about this turn, what they're going to do into this Doomsayer.
2-1.
All the cards are buff, so they have more value.
I like the tempo play and just play both, but if you want to tap, then tap. But I think since if we get to value trade into Acolyte and just play our buff minions on curve afterwards, we're fine.
Okay, I go for the tempo play. If I let Swan now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, kind of bad value to use that much for that board, but I think just to grab Acolyte and all that stuff, it's good.
Speak your peace.
I guess we should be arguing against that board, right? And before we can explosion.
Well, it means we'll have time. Like, we'll survive long enough for Frost Nova Doom, right?
Is it ever like Frostbolt and then Glyph Ping?
No.
No?
No.
In that case, it's in that no. The options are AI. The other option and ping. We can ping the 2-1. That's an option.
I think it's just AI. Like,
yes, and it's Arcane Intellect, right?
Because how much damage do we take, right? Next turn we ping, plus with Glyph, and then Frost Nova Doom on 5, and it should go off. And so we take 5, he develops a 3-drop.
There's really no hurry in getting this AI out right now. Like, we can easily just ping the 2-1. We don't want to take much damage in the early game. The
I don't
AI,
think
we will have
taking
time
that
for
much
the AI.
though.
We'll have time for the AI easily.
I
I'm
really
gonna-
like AI.
I'm gonna ping it. I think it's better.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't matter.
So we pray it, right?
The 2/6, right? That's one card. They would keep Frostbolt, right? So far they kept Doomsayer and...
But what if they
Second Doomsayer.
they have Secret Purse Barret?
What?
I mean, they don't have coin. They only have 4 mana.
I mean, then we have to play 3/3 distant.
Oh, that's what you mean, huh? I mean, it doesn't really matter if our Councilman survives, but I guess I like the Fledgling now because they couldn't really use them in the last turn. So if they have Frostbolt, it's probably just Frostbolt ping.
Yeah,
And
it's
if they
kind of weak.
Councilman, let them Fireball now.
Sure.
I guess we
we
want
go
them to
Fledgling.
play with fire. I think it makes sense to play on Fireball turn.
I don't want to Doomsay here though. It's just Glyph Frostbolt, right?
It's not a really good Doomsayer, is it?
No. I'm pretty sure that Frost Nova Doomsayer is gonna happen this game and clear of board and like give us a lot of tempo at some point.
But
What
we
are they
might
again?
have to Doomsayer first on next turn then, maybe?
Maybe.
They play like a 5-4?
I think we should just bold and Doomsayer. Save just the freeze for later.
I really think it's just Glyph Frostbolt because like this freeze Doomsayer is guaranteed to go off. Like
No, never guaranteed. I mean,
but
it's
like
just pretty
very high odds to go off.
Time runs out on me.
Ooh, mirror images. We can play mirror images in Doomsayer now.
Mm-hmm. It's like
They never get to it.
Yeah, sure.
okay.
Maybe it's fine.
Don't
Just
think
tap.
have options this turn.
You tap.
Whew, that is a beefy zoo deck.
Yeah.
Oh, the Acolyte picked up!
That is a sick top deck for complexity. Otherwise, they would have had Arcane Intellect to do this turn, which isn't bad, but this is just better. You get to develop something on the board, and you get to utilize your ping for actually something good.
Yeah, suddenly, I mean, this was looking like a great turn for Planet Odd to start getting some vets online and forcing burn from complexity. That Acolyte draw really changes the landscape. I mean, Planet Odd would have loved a Despicable Dreadlord this turn.
Right. And now they kind of have to Cobalt Skillbane, which is a little more awkward for them. But either way,
Some argument for Councilman tap, maybe?
Okay.
Councilman
Just because-
still represents a pretty reasonable amount of damage.
Right, and they both have the same amount of health, and this way you get a squeeze and a tap. They don't need too many more taps. I guess the concern is they want to find the Death Knight by turn 10.
Yeah.
So squeezing in taps where you can to get towards that Death Knight because of how powerful it is important.
Yeah, like say you just pick up back-to-back Councilmans or something. Like suddenly you get into extra taps that way, and then turn 7 rolls around, you're still playing 5 drops, and I can see it.
Okay, sure. I definitely
I
think
think
Councilman Tap
all
could
of
be
their
good.
non-Despicable Dreadlord, non-Soulfire plays have a lot of merit this turn.
You even like the Doomguard.
I think the Doomguard has merit too. You just play it and hit face because
Right.
it's being a 6/8 means that Fireball is not killing it directly. They have to Fireball Hero Power
Honestly-
and invest the Acolyte.
I do like that maybe better. Just the faster line of play. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what they're going to go for.
and
Just,
this
all
is
their
the-
other plays just get Fireballed.
A lot of this is just my experience knowing 6-0 as well and watching him play Zoo and hearing his thoughts about it.
Just whatever
It's-
doesn't die, do that.
Exactly. Like he's like if a thing hits him twice, that means they don't have a burn spell for that, and your next thing maybe gets burned, and then that hits him again. It's I'm like, he just throws cards into the fray and hopes that they live.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, that's what you have to do against Mage. If you try and slowly develop a board and give them the ability to not have to freeze your board because they can just use the removal on it, eventually they're going to have the mana to, start freezing your board every turn, drawing their entire deck, and you're going to die. So you really need to put the pressure on quickly, so I really like that.
I don't like dying, so...
Yeah, winning is good. Admirable. It's very good.
And so now, CompLexity does have a couple plays on their side as well. I mean, they have option for the Frostbolt and Arcane Intellect, Frostbolt and Hero Power, and try to set up the portal, or they can just Fireball and trade this off right now, which I'm looking at this hand, and they took the Mirror Image over the Pyroblast.
Right.
So, they could have had a ton of burn lined up, but Planet Odd hasn't been tapping. I think that's what encouraged them to go with the Mirror Image.
Yeah, they've been going
suddenly
for
Burn's running low.
A board control-y play. I like removing the Dreadlord because we have this Firelands Portal in our hand. If we have the ability to play Firelands Portal next turn instead of some sort of freeze spell, that's really, really strong for CompLexity. And you can see they're even using the Frostbolt to preserve the Acolyte so they can deal 6 damage to a target to kind of counteract the Keleseth buff.
Oh, boy. Well, Soulfire is not getting played, I don't think. Planet Odd just had a big draw. Let's listen in, hear what their planning is.
Positioning doesn't matter, right?
No.
Why do you
We still have one card to get from the Mulligan.
Like position made up more of Meteor, but this 2 it shouldn't.
So what's up with this Bone Mare?
I wonder.
I still just want to Firelance the 2/4.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think so too.
It still, I mean, yeah, that's fine, but it still gets farmed by the Bone Mare guy if he has Bone Mare.
Yes.
Do you Soulfire?
No, think about it.
Sure. I don't know.
But with Soulfire first, right?
Okay, yeah. Soulfire. Yeah, I mean, you can't just pass right.
It's too slow to do nothing. We have to I
And you could do that and hope for the 1 in 3, it's bad.
Yeah, but...
No.
Oh.
I mean, it's still better than...
Like, we couldn't play the Doomguard if we want to play Gul'dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the best discard, I think. The choice to the
I don't want to spend a freeze on this board. This is far. Like, I want to ping my Acolyte.
Yeah, definitely not. You want to ping the Acolyte?
Yeah, I want to milk the Acolyte for sure.
Yeah.
Just AI block.
Yeah, I'm just contemplating bumping. Like, maybe if I draw an Econologist, that would be nice. I think we just AI, though, and leave the guy.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, let's just put up the block.
Yep.
Or do we AI? No, we should put up the block, right? While we have time.
Block.
No, we have some monkey as well.
Yep.
Stop calling him the he has a monkey, but he's not... Like, the valet is the guy in red, right?
But he's a monkey.
No! He has a monkey.
Yeah, it's both the same.
Is the monkey the valet? Maybe it is. I mean, that's the one with the fire.
He does have the fire. Maybe he's throwing the monkey at people.
Ooh.
That would deal 3
Flaming
damage.
monkey thrower sounds terrifying.
That's much more intimidating than a valet.
Yeah, I mean, a valet is, I mean, you call that a weapon, but a flaming monkey thrower, that's definitely a weapon.
That's a weapon.
Yeah.
This game has gotten kind of weird. We've had CompLexity. I'd say Freeze Mage is typically favored versus Zoo, but they have to start worrying about what is this card left in Planet Odd's hand that they've held all these turns and not played. They're going to
It's not
start.
a second Doomguard. It's not a second Soulfire.
Right, and if it is
not a Bone
Blood
Bear.
Reaver Gul'dan, that's really bad news for Complexity. They've utilized a lot of burn. Fireland's Portal was launched, Fireball was launched, Frostbolt was launched. So do they have enough damage to get through the heal of Gul'dan?
See, that's the thing, is Alexstrasza is not super effective versus Zoo because they spend the first third of their life total drawing extra cards.
So, like, Complexity committed to this value game plan, and I'm not so sure that it's the best opportunity in this matchup.
Well, Double Blizzard buys them a lot of time, and the Alexstrasza can heal themselves as well.
That's the thing, though. Time after the Death Knight is played for Planet Odd is kind of bad for the Mage, because he's going to be able to heal all the way back up to 30.
Exactly.
And pop the Ice Block through freezes on the board because the Hero Power deals direct damage.
We're thinking the same here.
It just seems...
Oh, Mana Worm could really change some stuff, though.
If you can... Well, Mana Worm's just going to die to Hero Power.
Well, it doesn't come out until next turn, though. I mean, 2 turns from now. So they get a Doomguard back, they're going to get a Void Walker back, they get a Malkazar's Imp back? No, that was discarded.
They're even going to continue tapping. I think there's potential there to just not even tap.
I'm playing stuff.
Yeah?
I mean, you got a Gul'dan coming, you're not under pressure.
I mean, 18's a little low. Sometimes they'll Pyroblast you in the face here and then follow that up with Fireball, Frostbolt, LA or something.
I've seen a Fireball, I've seen a Frostbolt.
Right.
Your opponent took a mirror image off of a Primordial Glyph.
They had the opportunity to take a Pyroblast there. Speaking of that Primordial
Which
Glyph.
I think they should have taken the Pyroblast.
Well, yeah, but not with the game plan they decided. That's the point in the game where they decided their game plan. They were like, we're going to take this mirror image, we're going to get this Tempo Doomsayer off, we're just going to play for value, and our deck will outvalue.
With what their game plan was, the mirror image is the correct take.
Right, but I think
is that the correct game plan?
Yeah, exactly. That's the question. And I'm not so sure that against Zoo you want to go for value. Against, not Zoo, but I'd say against Blood Reaver Gul'dan does the value game work. And this is kind of how Freeze Mage used to play versus Zoo. And I'm not so sure it's the way Freeze Mage should play with Zoo in this expansion with Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Well, Complexity is under the gun. Let's figure it out if they can find a way out.
I'm gonna bump with the Acolyte because that always happens.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna Worm, Blizzard, Ping.
Is there actually a reason to Frost Nova? Because then Gul'dan gets worse, but
they don't have. Then they don't have board space. I actually kind of looking at that. Like you can go Mana Worm, Nova.
No, I don't like that.
You don't like it because like what do they do? What do? They can't Gul'dan.
They just play Gul'dan anyways. They just play. It's not about the guys. It doesn't matter.
Well, they get a Doomguard and stuff. Like, isn't it good if they play Gul'dan when we Frost Nova here? I'll leave it to your call though. You can do Blizzard. I'm okay with that.
I should probably play Valet here rather than what I said.
We just check how many thoughts we get.
A bargain forged in blood and shadow.
Get you.
Okay, so
we trade 1. I think we trade into the Mana Worm.
okay.
Yeah.
So many bloody decisions.
What to do?
I think it's about killing their minions, Alexing ourselves, and then going ham.
Yeah, I think so too. Like we
It's gonna
don't
be hard
have
though.
enough burst.
I'm gonna Primordial Glyph first.
Sure.
Yep.
I think it's Shatter actually. Shatter
Yeah, I
is
think
bored.
so too.
Like Nova Shatter at some point. We kill the big guy.
Time runs out on me.
Do you Fireball Ping? Or is that too risky?
I think we got a Fireball thing.
We got a Fireball for sure.
Yep. I agree. I would ping as well.
Ping
But I'm
bomb.
not sure about Frostbolt, so.
I think you hold it.
Well, I like their game plan. I just
Well,
these two
like
Crystal Weavers
no,
are
no. I do not like their game plan,
From
but I
this
like
spot.
I like that they're sticking to it though.
from
They
this
have the
spot. They have to
consistency,
clear
yeah.
the board. Complexity, that is. They
Right.
have to clear the board and get Alex to stick.
They're sticking to this value game plan that they committed to earlier on, which I think is important. Sometimes people have a plan that starts not working and then they just abandon it, and that
Gotta
almost
follow
never
through.
works.
Well, this isn't going to work, really. I mean, this is...
It's not looking great,
No.
but we don't know what else is in Complexity's deck. Maybe their value game was prompted because they have big threats in their deck like Medivh the Guardian.
But they have time, though.
That's going to be an issue.
They're on
Yeah.
second ice block right now. There's look how much pressure was just added to board. That's really the thing about it is when you're playing Freeze Mage against New Zoo, it's not the same. They have big threats.
So one of the ways they could squeeze Medivh out, which I think they might need to do, is just let the block get popped. You have 2 Arcanologists and a second block in your deck, right? So you have 3 out of 8 to be able to then reapply an ice block the turn after, while removing with the Medivh effect and developing from your freeze.
Mind you, it's 26 and counting damage they have to deal right now.
Well, no, it's not about damage. It's about securing either Medivh or Alex on the board.
Where do they get the damage before they just die?
Well, the Atiesh will produce new minions.
That's not going to work.
And then they can just, Nova the other side and be able to push damage through that
It's
way.
about 38 mana worth of stuff.
It's going to be tough for sure. And the hero power from Planet Odd, it's great at doing face damage, but it's also great at removing minions as well. So they might even just get fatigued.
This is problem.
This is a big problem. So they're going to try and remove some of the pressure now, set up this barrier so that maybe next turn they can squeeze out Medivh without being popped.
Oh boy.
Exactly. So they're going to have... There's going to be 6 incoming damage from the Voidwalkers, and then the hero power is another 3, and they're at 12. So they're hoping that Planet Odd cannot table more than 4 power, but that Bone Mare's a heck of a lot more than 4.
They're dying.
Yeah. So then they're going to need to try and...
I want you to pick what card they draw that gets them out of this. Like, just pick any card in the game, not even just like in Mage.
They're at 12, and they can be set up to 15, so they're going to get another... What? They get another 6?
They set to 15 out of the board.
Yeah, that's the issue. They were hoping...
They would need to draw Deathwing here and then draw whatever they want. That's not going to happen. Complexity, I think they're done for. Let's hear it.
Die. So we got a Medivh. Trade ping. And then hope that we draw block. And then go like block Nova. And then somehow clear while getting Alex down the following turn.
We can also portal trade. We can portal. It would have to be portal Nova though. Portal Nova. No,
Then they
then we go
suck.
to 23, so they need to not have 7.
I wonder.
Portal, like it doesn't matter because like they can always suck us, so the barrier doesn't even matter. The barrier value.
It does because we will defensive Alex the turn after. But that I don't think we win with that line.
Yeah, I think we have to hope that we get block.
So we hit
Make sure to not ping his face.
with the 1 mirror press, right?
yeah, but he will get a 9, right? Then we can use heal power. Then we use heal power on the 7/7.
Wait, 1 second. Very good.
We just like heal power the 7/7 and trade the 10/5 in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, ping, like, doesn't make a difference if we proc them at 1 or 3 or whatever, so
No.
fine.
It kind of matters because
I mean, we can just ping, trade the 10-5 in and play double minion. So they have enough damage against the extra, right?
With
As long
him.
as we have more than... No. We ping his minion and trade, play both minion. Obviously Dark Share first. But as long as we have enough damage for Expressor, we can lose. Okay, it's 17 for Expressor, we have 9, 11, 12. Yeah, that's enough.
Well,
There's
we can
nothing
get
There's
Mind
nothing
Nova.
that heals us.
Get Mindbreaker from the Nova.
Sure, that's the play, right? Go for that.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Almost. It's just not that great of a matchup.
Warlock takes its second straight. 8 wins in a row on Trinity Series we have seen from teams with Warlock.
Warlock is a powerful deck. Blood Reaver Gul'dan just changes so many matchups. Previously, in earlier metagames, before the Death Knight existed in Zoo, you could just take the value game against them. You could just kind of trade off things and clear their board with your AoE spells and not have to worry about actually clocking them or killing them. But the matchup has changed. Blood Reaver Gul'dan comes down now, and the Mage needs to be killing the Warlock, otherwise it will get outvalued by that hero power.
It like flip-flops who's the control deck.
Right, it's who becomes the aggressor just changes, because then the Warlock can just sit there and use the hero power all game and heal outrange of your burn and be a controlling deck, take you to fatigue. Whereas,
exhaust your resources.
Exactly, which is what you were trying to do the whole time during the game. So
yeah, now I think that's the reason that works is because Zoo has transitioned to so many more mid-range threats. Like before, it was so many 1-drops and so many 2-drops. And now instead, you're focusing on heavy ones, big tempo plays, and then stuff like Crystal Weaver to buff up your board, Despicable Dreadlords fight for value,
even Scale
Bone Bears.
They had extra beef in their Warlock decks, which kind of helped them, continue that value game plan. But
this Warlock win percentage you're seeing across the board in Trinity Series, one of the reasons this works right now is because teams aren't preparing specifically for Warlock. Its weaknesses on ladder are basically Druid and Priest, the 2 tier 1 decks in the metagame. So in a big open format like this, where you have all 9 classes represented, you get to take out Druid and Priest. Your opponents do not prepare for Warlock as much because they're trying to fight Rogue, and they're trying to fight potentially Shaman. They have to pay attention to aggressive decks like Murloc Paladin stuff. And then Warlock, because it's 2 different archetypes, it's much harder to focus on.
Right. So what would you bring if you were trying to design a deck to counter Warlock?
I mean, I would bring the Mage that CompLexity brought. I think that their game plan was way off base. I think that given that they could have got Pyroblast from the Primordial Glyph, given that they have Frostnova Doomsayer, and that they have Firelands Portal, they should be playing to Frostnova Doomsayer into either a Firelands Portal turn or a turn where they just launch burn at face and then follow up with that 8-mana Pyroblast.
I completely agree. I think choosing the value-oriented game plan in this matchup is not the way you're supposed to do it, because you just lose if they find Gul'dan, and since they have the life tap ability, they find Gul'dan a lot of the time.
Right. I mean, if Planet Out doesn't find Gul'dan there, they lose the game.
Or if they discard Gul'dan.
Yeah.
Which they had a lot of chances to do.
I mean, they would lose the game in that instance. So I don't mind CompLexity's game plan.
Right.
The consequence of it, though, is that if the Gul'dan happens, you are at a big disadvantage. And so that's really the thing to think about. Does the Gul'dan happen enough to justify playing more aggressive, or does it not happen enough, and as a result, the control yields a higher win rate overall?
When you're playing...
I don't know specifically because I don't play a ton of Freeze Mage.
Well, when you're playing a Freeze Mage list with Firelands Portals, so extra burn there, you're playing the Pyroblast instead of, like, some people play Jaina in that slot. You have extra burn added to your deck. I feel like the burn plan is warranted. But
well, here we are, game number 3. It's a Warlock Mirror match. CompLexity decides to match it.
Yeah, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, amen, brother. That's what I did with the Dark Iron.
Nobody can stop the dwarf.
I mean, he gives just a random dude +2 attack. I just got beat up.
He's not even in Zoo anymore, though. He's been replaced. There's Crystal Weaver now. You're retired to become a caster.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here. Let's listen to Planet Odd. They have a pretty strong early game themselves, even though Callus has on board.
Makes sense, quite Crystal
We
Weaver.
have double buff next turn. Like if he has the 1+ attack. Oh.
Yeah, oh, you want to trade, but...
Yeah, but then we don't get the buff on the flame.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, we kind of, like, against...
I like trade here. And 2 1-mana drops.
I would go face and just risk it. Like, I think we're just too far behind against some stuff like Captain. So I just want to get greedy.
Is there any card that punishes us other than... the 1+ attack.
We can still buff the Flame when trading those 2 next turn to like have a Flame survive. The just go face and just so when I really wants to trade.
Okay.
I mean, tapping is good when you have Killer Seth, but 4-3 is really bad right here. We should just play Dark Reaper, right?
Yeah, we should just Tag Ripper.
Do we bump? We do, right?
Is it good against Soulfire?
So many possibilities.
Not that good.
Soulfire, it's not good to bump.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to bump.
I would probably just play Tag Reaper pass.
Yeah, I don't think you bump.
Against Soulfire, he would get a trade with the 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like if
The
you
only
trade,
reason
your Flame
to trade is
dies.
Yeah, don't actually.
What's the reason to trade?
Just bump and trade. I bump and pass.
Yeah, I don't see how it gets punished. Not sure what you mean. Okay.
I mean, now tap and play double 1, right?
Could it be that they have another one of these? But I don't think we can do anything about
We
that.
don't have any way of doing anything about it. I would tap and play double 1s.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're just stronger than Chain Gang,
more
right?
stats, right?
Yeah, it's just more stats than Chain Gang.
Does that change anything? I definitely want Flame Imp on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
Void Walker might be better.
Well, Void Walker
Because
gets
on-
value traded. I mean, I guess the other one also gets value traded. And the other one is better to hold. I guess it's Void Walker, yeah.
yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
And pass.
Total corruption. Total power.
So how to trade?
Thing. Just the we take 3 damage on the left 5. Actually, wait 1 second. And how does it make a difference if the 5 top kills off our imp or our not demon? We already played both cards and it's just demons.
So many.
So I guess it's no difference. But
Double trade. Do we ever what's the punish about just going face with the free 5s?
just full trade. Like 2 gut or whatever. I just don't see how it's bad to trade. Yeah, I like full trade. Like that way, yeah. Take 4 damage on. There's no difference if... I guess against Spellbreaker it might have been better to... Yeah, whatever.
This is rough, man. This.
Yeah, it really is rough, man. I mean, what can we do?
CompLexity is not enjoying their trip to the zoo.
They're going to 9, potentially 4. I mean, Planet Odd can either kill the 4/5 or they can set them to 4.
I think you definitely want to trade the 5/1 into the 4/5.
I don't think it matters.
Right, but
I think if they close their eyes and just manage to attack with everything this turn, they're fine.
well, the taunts come out, so maybe there's some way back in. Because you got to remember, CompLexity is still drawing Keleseth buffed cards.
Like, I'm personally killing the 4/5.
Yeah,
but
I think it's correct. It's just because
I'm killing it with the 5/1.
Mm-hmm. The only thing you're really afraid of is like Serenite Chain Gang buffed taunts.
Second,
out.
Despicable Dreadlord could really hurt as well. Like Dreadlord, just say like a random Mortal Coiler, like Patches or something like that. That's I think it's the big reason to keep the Doomguard healthy.
Mm-hmm. So there's some interesting little tech decisions here. We have CompLexity with the Spellbreaker on 4, whereas Planet Odd is running the Demon buff guy. So buffs are like...
Demon buff guy is definitely CompLexity stack. That is a staple of Zoo right now.
Okay. I think that's not in every Zoo deck. The Cobalt Scalebane is also interesting from Planet Odd. But
Scalebane is interesting, but I think Crystal Weaver is...
I think it should probably be.
It's an #1 super awesome card.
Yeah, especially when you're running all of the one-drop demons, you know? It really helps out, get the buffs to get the value trades. And that's what Zoo Mirrors are really all about, is the value trades. But
the imps are quite scary, but the Serenite Chain Gang, one of the reasons this is being teched into decks is because of how well it protects not only versus Bittertide Hydra, but versus the Bone Bear turn. It keeps your opponent from getting a very strong value trade on you. And that can get you back in the game and let you play a Bone Mare instead. Like, the neutral cards have been big answers to problems in this format.
Planet Odd does not have the Kaliseth buff. CompLexity does have the Kaliseth buff. If the board gets stabilized, meaning neither is ahead on tempo, CompLexity will win. Are they going to stabilize? Probably not, but that's what they're looking to try and do.
Yeah, I mean, it's their best game plan.
Right.
And so you just have to hope for it at this point. They just took too much damage early on.
Yeah, they got really beat up by those one-drops.
I think bumping the Kaliseth was a big deal on 2, right? On turn 2?
Yeah.
They had so much counterplay to what was going on if they simply bumped the Kaliseth.
They would have been able to just, remove an extra minion from the field. And who knows, you know, maybe they're at slightly higher life total. They have some more flexibility with their options. The Kaliseth buff starts to matter more.
I remember when I used to practice this matchup back in the day, Chalky was an incredible Zoo player, and he was one of my main practice partners. And he put it to the point, he said, if you could trade a minion on board, unless you can guaranteed kill your opponent, you should do it.
Yeah, just every single value bump that you can make, you pretty much do. And missing that one little bump there makes that Voidwalker stick around for an extra 4 turns, get buffed again by another Crystal Weaver.
I mean, it was the maximum punish just about, but I think they potentially could have mitigated some of that punish, but it is now 3-0 for Planet Odd with their Zoo Warlock, and that means 9 straight wins in the Trinity Series for Warlock. And this is a big match for Planet Odd. We're in the exact same position Tempo Storm was yesterday. They're at 1-3 in their match record. If they don't get a win today, their Trinity Series is all but over.
Yeah, and it is looking pretty close to over. They've kind of thrown everything they got at this Zoo Warlock. They relied on the Mirror as the chance to try and stop it. So that means every deck that they play after this, they feel is worse than 50-50 against their opponent's Zoo deck.
Yeah, and here you can see the Warlock wins across the board. G2 yesterday over doubled the amount of wins they had as they took 6 straight wins with Warlock.
It's a powerful class, man. Absolutely insane.
Goodness gracious.
Do you think it's getting, a power level increase because Halloween and Zoo's kind of a spooky deck?
Well, I mean, anytime you thirst for blood as much as Gul'dan does, I mean, this is the time of year.
Exactly. So maybe that's what's going on. Because, yesterday we had a Warlock sweep. Today we might have a Warlock sweep, and it's the week of Halloween.
It's insane. It's crazy.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
I don't think it's much of a coincidence either, but something's got to be done about this Warlock. Again, I think Rogue performs overall fairly well against Warlock.
I think Mage does too.
I think Mage does as well. I think even in the Mirror match, that's about as close to a coin flip as you're going to get.
It's a Mirror. They were going first and had Kaliseth too, which in Aggro Mirrors oftentimes you want to go first because you get to dictate the first trades. You want Kaliseth on too. That's pretty sweet.
Look at this jacket.
Yeah.
Tyler's always dressed nice, it seems like.
Wasn't he like a fashion model previously or something? Or a photographer, or I don't know.
Very similar things.
But I'm pretty sure he was involved in fashion in some way or another.
I believe it.
Prior to his Hearthstone career.
Look how many shoes he's got.
Yeah, he's kind of a ridiculous amount of fashion accessories.
I'm somewhat jealous of that, but I don't think I would wear that many different pairs of shoes.
Oh, there's no way. I have 2.
Same.
And they're both on my feet.
Do you have 2 pairs of shoes on right now?
Oh, no, just 2 shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's impressive. 4 feet.
Well, I'm a bat.
Yeah.
Do bats have hands or feet
they have
at the front?
The wings. I mean, you literally have
wings. But would you call the appendages from the wings hands
claws?
Or feet? Like, there's no thumbs attached to it.
Miniature
so maybe
talons?
Those are talons, yeah.
Miniature talons.
Miniature talons.
I think Shaman performs quite well versus Zoo as well.
Pretty big. I'm a nice sized bat. All right, yes. Shaman is usually pretty good versus Zoo. At one point, it was considered extremely powerful versus Zoo.
One of the big problems, of course, is the same thing that the Mage suffered from, where if Kaliseth hits, a lot of your tools grow weaker. Jade Claws doesn't match up.
Yeah.
Maelstrom Portal doesn't match up. Ooh.
Devolve still works, though. Gets rid of the Kaliseth buff.
I'll tell you what, man. Kaliseth is good.
Yeah, it's especially good in a last year standing format where you can, just flip matchups on their head. So the counter becomes not the counter because none of the breakpoints for your minions' health line up anymore.
The counter actually becoming a faster deck.
Right.
Like with CompLexity, when they added in Eviscerates to the Rogue, I think that actually gives them an edge in the Rogue Mirror match, where so much of it is dictated on tempo, where if you can force your opponent to use their health total to aggressively keep control of the board, the Eviscerates give you the reach that can just kill your opponent outright. That's something that Rogue does not have with Kaliseth in there.
So how would you make Shaman better against Zoo?
That's a great question. Let's hear out CompLexity wants to make Shaman better versus it.
Feels amazing. Just claws that guy.
Yeah. Need like Flame Tongue or something now.
We need to get lucky again.
Yeah.
Play both there.
Speak your peace.
Yeah, Flame Tongue would maybe be nice.
We just patches and flame elements, alright?
Yep.
And face tank the 5/3, put a 1/1 in there, put a 1/1 into the Acros.
Agree.
Yeah.
It's too early for the Devolve. Hopefully Devolve can do something.
Had the only clear.
So pray captain,
Yes.
Right. We don't want to draw
Darkshire isn't
patches.
buffed, so we can.
and
Yeah, no,
trade.
we have to play the captain. If we Darkshire here, we just lose to Flame Tongue. In the end, we
play
just lose. But
How about Devolve here? Try and set up for an Evolve later. Because we get a free kill on the 0-drop from the patches. This becomes a 2-drop. And we develop 2 Fireflies.
Yeah, I think we have to do it.
Then
But
he can only clear 1 most of the time.
And
then,
what if we play Stonehill of Firefly, then we can devolve next turn? But
then he just trades everything in.
yeah, but
So
we get more devolve hits
We
though.
kill the 0-drop, we play 2 Fireflies. He kills 1 Firefly, then we have 2 Fireflies and a Stonehill we can evolve.
Yeah, let's do the devolve. I'm fine with it.
yeah, agree.
That's pretty awful.
For them, right?
Yeah, as long as they don't have Accurus veteran number 2, then I guess it's fine.
so we just 3 and 1.
3 drop and 1 drop.
We could have like a real 2-drop there, like a 2/3 or something that would be so nice to trade into his minions.
So let's look at the bright side here. Lightwell doesn't actually attack. But something it does do is let Planet Odd keep life tapping, and it's not the priority kill in a lot of situations, which means that Bone Mirror is approaching in a few turns.
Yeah, that's going
Lightwell's
to be
interesting.
It's going to be super powerful when it gets Bone Med because it may even just be able to heal itself as well.
I mean, it can't attack, but it does protect.
Sure.
Yeah. And then eventually it attack. So it doesn't attack, but it does protect. But most of all, it also attack. Yeah.
That's good. And then something about a snack, right?
Correct. CompLexity was looking at the Evolve this turn, but suddenly.
I still think you have to go with the Evolve and hope to get kind of lucky.
I'm Jade Light. It's Councilman. The
Yeah,
Councilman.
but Councilman can only trade into 1 minion. I think the strength of the Shaman deck is the fact that it can go wide on the board and produce a lot of threats, and I think you want to capitalize on that.
I think if you're going to win this game, you got to draw Doppelgangster.
Okay, I could see that as well. Yeah. It's a fair argument. The tempo swing of unleashing a Doppelgangster is going to be strong, but I like this as well. Jade Lightning.
They should bump the Lightwell for 1 here as well to give a 50% chance for the heal to not hit face.
I
They
also
actually
agree
just
with that,
negated
yeah.
all the damage in that spot by not attacking Lightwell. So small mechanical error there.
Right. It's not the most important part of the turn. The most important part of the turn was just like where the Jade Lightning goes.
Exactly.
To kill the Councilman or to kill the other minion.
Typically speaking, mechanical things aren't the most important parts of turns. It's actually mistakes that I don't like pointing out because they mean so little in the grand scheme of things. Now, when they matter, They're
They
huge,
matter a lot, yeah.
but it's very rare that it actually makes a difference in this game. Like here, Complexity's not getting the board, so don't know how much difference it makes. Not Doppelgangster. Let's hear how Complexity wants to use this evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we won't have any more minions. Like he'll just trade everything in.
White Ice.
Probably.
Yeah, buy it ice.
And I'm just gonna hero power evolve.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those could be good.
Those are actually good, right? We can dodge the 5 drop. Dodge the 5 drop.
So, it's bad, man. Oh my god, this would have been so insane. Get it like control earlier.
we trade with 3-5 and
Into the 2-2
trade with the 2-2 and 3-2.
yes, 2-2 and 3-2.
3-5 into the 2-2, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah, trade
equally
with small
important.
minions. Oh, you think what? Which one to take damage on?
I think we do this. I think the 4-5 is more important.
Yeah.
Wait. No, wait. Yeah, this is right. Because
4-5 into the 2-2, right? And 6-5 into the 3-2.
no, yes, because if his 2-7 attacks into our minion, we wanted to take 6 damage, that dies to the 5 trip afterwards.
Phew.
So they have like bone mare and stuff. Gul'dan. Ay. We might want to kill the 0-5.
Yeah, with the assassin. We might need to take this risk. I think we do need to.
We're hero
Yeah,
point
and
for
some-
sure this turn.
Yeah.
And then white ice.
Yeah.
I think we kill the 0-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My life is your shield.
Really.
So we just tap Paris and
Yes.
Red Road.
Yeah,
Do we ever? But we do attack, right?
Yeah.
what?
I mean, just
yeah.
tap first. We could, in theory, not attack, so they can't twirl the 10-10, but...
Oh, yeah, that's the only reason.
I mean, yeah, but this... Okay, 20 cards left. Yeah, okay.
No.
That's the one.
Hero power double thing.
Yeah. Definitely hero power. Yeah.
I mean, Complexity's staying alive, but they don't need to stay alive. They need to get ahead.
Right, if they don't get ahead soon, then Blood Reaver Gul'dan's going to come out.
And they're not getting ahead soon.
Yeah, they're, if anything, getting more behind at this point.
Yeah.
Look at how much stats that is. Holy smokes. Keliseth is good.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, the Jade counters are still kind of small, but 3-3 is not the worst.
The problem is that, once again, Blood Reaver Gul'dan is approaching.
Yeah.
This card has been the game changer in Trinity Series this week. Just another turn setup for another 6-8 taunt with another 5-5.
And they get it all back on turn 10.
It's just an
Even
aggro
if it
deck, right?
all just dies, they get everything back on turn 10 with the Gul'dan.
Now, granted, they come back
Oh
as
my.
1-3s and stuff, but
It doesn't
still
matter.
good.
The fact that they come back at all is crazy. Even if they didn't come back, Gul'dan would be crazy.
they come back at all. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's so
You heard
strong.
Firebat. Nerf Warlock.
Well,
Don't worry about Priest and Druid.
no, you worry about Priest and Druid. That's not what I'm saying at
No,
all.
that's exactly what you're saying. I heard it.
Okay. But Gul'dan is absolutely bonkers, man. Spell Power
This
Totem
needs
does it
to be
do?
Spell Power Totem.
Even if it is, though, that doesn't stop Gul'dan.
Nope. What does stop Gul'dan?
Well,
Killing them, I guess.
You kill him, yeah. You play Shadow Reaper Anduin and hero power him like crazy.
Yeah, that kills him.
That kills him.
Yeah.
It's just you need to be further ahead by this point in the game.
Oh boy.
And there's going to be most likely an instant concede from CompLexity here.
I mean, this is looking like 4-0. I cannot imagine how CompLexity gets out.
Well, the escape concede button gets him out. Yeah. Very nice. The leader is in the middle there with the flame.
He is summoning Halloween powers. I'm telling you.
There's something going on here. There's something spooky happening, but Warlock just, for some reason, always has Keleseth on 2, always has Gul'dan on 10, is summoning things symmetrically. Something's going on.
I did not have Keleseth in game 1, though.
Okay, well, they didn't need it.
Correct. you only draw it when you need it. That's how the pro players do it.
Right.
4-0 for Planet Odd, 2 games away from getting a 2-3 record. They have struggled in Trinity Series thus far, but this week they are looking good as gold.
Yeah, they're definitely putting in the work. Zoo is running away with the game.
And that's one of the reasons that aggro decks are important in Last Hero Standing, is once they take a win versus an unfavorable, they can easily run away with a series. It's hard to stop a very consistent game plan when you're not prepared for it.
And talk about consistent. Life Tap allows you to get Gul'dan on 10 a lot of the time. You're drawing so many cards as Zoo. It's an aggro deck with card draw. Absolutely crazy.
And these 3 players have, throughout their career, played aggressive decks very often. Hoy has loved to play Reno Jackson wacky stuff during that era.
Right.
And he didn't have a great performance that year. And I remember seeing him in spring championships, and I was like, what changed from last year? And he goes, well, Reno Jackson rotated out, so I couldn't play any more weird Reno decks every tournament. But the 3 of them, 6-0, Hoy, and Surrender, have stuck together for years now as a team. And it's been very important and very vital, and they're very vocal about how much of a brotherhood that they formed via
They've
competition.
been on like 3 or 4 different teams together at this point.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But they haven't had a great performance thus far. They've had, like, this match, they're having a terrific performance. But I mean, like, in the Trinity Series as a whole, Planet Odd is 1-3, and we're facing elimination going into this game.
Effectively, yes.
Yeah.
Now, outside of Trinity Series, their year has been wonderful. They're
Right.
spring and summer champion with Hoy and Surrender.
Do you think maybe they've been a little preoccupied with so many events they're doing, both playing in HCT and stuff like that, and that's been kind of costing them a little bit?
It could be. I mean, we saw some fairly poor form from them in a couple games. I think it was week 2 that you and I casted.
And now all that kind of stuff is calming down, and now we're seeing the real Planet Odd.
They're performing a lot better. CompLexity, of course, though, they won the Trinity Series last year.
Right.
And
comeback champs.
The thing about it is their game win record overall was 50% throughout, but they were closing matches. That was the key, is once it got down to that final spot, it seemed like they always had the advantage.
Right. And it seems like they did not anticipate Zoo. Their
they
counters
lost to Rogue and then they lost to Mage. Like,
right. Their
you lose
counters
2
are just
favorables.
not lining up at all.
Yikes. It hurts. But CompLexity, if there's a team that has a match to give, I do think it's them. They're sitting at 3-1.
I think that might be, costing them a little bit, though. The fact that they are in first place currently in the league, they're at 3-1. They can potentially lose a series and still make it to the finals. And
maybe doesn't sound like costing them to me. It sounds like great to me. Like
this
match went awry.
Right, but it sounds like maybe they got a little overconfident. Didn't prepare for the most up-to-date decks, because Zoo's like the most up-to-date deck that just kind of came out and reached Tier 1 status. Slacking a little bit because they're so far ahead.
That doesn't strike me as a Crane, you get Tyler sort of crew to slack at all. I mean, Tyler's out there playing ladder almost every single day. Mr. Yagut, same thing. And Crane, he's a student of the game.
Right. Then how do we explain the 0-4, though? What is the consequence there? What happened?
They lost the road game.
Right.
It's a favorable matchup. It just got out of hand. I think they were outdrawn.
Well, I think I had some opportunities to use some of the, adapt to the situation, play maybe the unwilling sacrifice.
I don't disagree, but I don't think they would have gotten there.
Sure.
Their unwilling sacrifice hold was specifically for Doomguard.
Right.
That game got dropped. The Mage game, I do think that they chose the incorrect game plan.
Okay.
I think the game plan, when you see the glyph into Pyroblast,
and you run Pyroblast in your deck,
it's burn.
And you have Nova Doom already.
I think it's burn. I think that game plan was chosen incorrectly.
Sure.
From there, the series has been outside of their control. These matchups are very unfavorable, and they are not getting there.
The Shaman game, I don't think they could have done much else. I think they played it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they lost 2 favorables. When you do that, you have to start taking risks. You have to try to grab some ingenuity. And
what are the risks they need to take this game to try and beat them?
I mean, what risks can they take with this style of hand? Playing it odd, they got all the options. Let's hear how they want to take it.
Still better to take in, right? Like, I think we take in.
Trade 1/1 Divine Shield for free too. Yeah, I guess. But like, they played all the card they kept in the mulligan, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just better to take in. Like, if they don't have anything, it's fine. Because then we can buff our calendar next one, and if they have stuff, I think if we don't try to get punished even harder. No, I think we attack. Like, how do they punish the attack?
That you can trade into the Flame Imp. If you try to take a bird over, maybe.
That seems very optimistic. I would trade.
But what do we get out of trading?
Just trade.
Yeah.
Next protect.
It's best to just hero power and trade the 1/1 into the 3/1, right? It's better than Alchemist. I don't know. Is it? No, it's kind of not though, right?
Not really.
They go Captain, they full value trade, and we lost. But we don't beat Captain.
Okay, yeah, Captain.
I just don't see how holding the attack would win us a game, but maybe we didn't need to attack.
Move quickly.
It's also worse attacking, right, if he doesn't have the buff.
Is it? Like,
oh.
Why is it worse?
Because then we could...
Okay, you're the best.
You gonna do that?
You're doing everything.
And then get buff next turn.
Speak your peace.
Love Hearthstone.
See, if we didn't attack, they would have just been all face and they have to double trade in the 1/1, and we couldn't do this.
Yep.
Couldn't kill the Murloc then.
We need Consecration out. So now it's just War Leader bump, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not even that good. He trades with 3/1.
No, it doesn't do anything.
No, nothing is good. Just play the War Leader and do the thing. I don't see anything better, but wow. Sometimes you just get rolled 2 weeks in a row.
Total corruption.
So
Yeah, trade the Prince in. Okay, 5-0. One more.
Yeah, I don't see how we lose this game.
Oh boy.
It's not slowing down, Admirable.
It's not.
The zoo keeps on zooing.
In fact, it's speeding up. Like the last game took quite a while. You know, Blood River Gul'dan came out.
CompLexity is having to put forth, worse and worse counter decks that they believe are weaker against the Zoo Warlock than the previous decks. So that makes sense that it's speeding up how fast the Zoo is demolishing them.
Yep.
It all comes back to losing some unfavorables in the early stages and maybe taking some missteps in that Mage game, and now they don't have any way to shut down this Zoo. And then...
That is a sad War Leader.
That's a sad War Leader.
That is not a sad Dreadlord.
The War Leader is just running out on the field and looking down so much pressure.
Pushes more damage.
They don't need to trade with anything anymore, honestly.
I'm trading 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right?
Just prevent Steed for every turn. That's GG.
Yeah. So
Why
much
not have like
stats on
Snow
board.
Flipper Penguin or something weird?
How would Snow Flipper Penguin help?
Well, they get to play it and then steed it on turn 6.
Oh, okay, sure. I get that. Nice.
Are they even getting a turn 6?
No.
No!
They need Wild Pyromancer quality, and they don't have Wild Pyromancer Aura quality.
The victory.
Tyler, wide-eyed, what is going on? 5-0 for Planet Odd. They are running amok with Gul'dan.
They have to feel pretty good about this position because now CompLexity only has the deck that they wanted to play against Zoo the least left. The deck that they queued everything else in the kitchen sink in front of. And now this call comes down to this. It's Hearthstone, so there's a chance. But
Yesterday, we saw G2 take 6 straight wins with Warlock. Now we see Planet Odd take 5 straight wins with a different Warlock archetype. 11 straight games of Trinity Series have been won by a team playing Warlock.
it's Halloween. The Warlock is gaining power from the holiday.
That is something else. I'm horrified.
I'm all for it, man. I'm in costume and everything. Me and Warlock and Blood Reaver Gul'dan are chilling hard.
Yeah, and you've talked up Blood Reaver Gul'dan for many weeks.
It's a solid card.
It's just good.
It's one of the best cards, if not the best card in all of Hearthstone.
So now the miracle has to happen with the last remaining deck for CompLexity, which is Warrior, by the way.
Okay, and hopefully not a Pirate Warrior. Pirate Warrior oftentimes loses out on tempo against the Zoo, but actually, maybe that's a better chance than the traditional Dead Man's Hand Warriors that we've been seeing, because a controlling warrior archetype has a great ability to remove the board, but Zoo just life taps and then plays more stuff, and you can't remove it forever, so eventually you get overwhelmed, because the Dead Man's Hand Warrior decks try and win with fatigue. How do you fatigue a deck that's 28 minions and 2 Soulfires?
And a Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
And a Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Which is actually like 5 minions.
Which is actually like 100 minions.
100 minions. You don't have that much space on board. This would be why they did not queue up Warrior.
It's a Taunt Warrior.
Taunt Warrior, once upon a time, this matchup was great for Taunt Warrior. In fact, it was so close to unlosable that you just threw away your quest. You're like, I don't need this thing. I'll just Primordial Drake him.
Right.
Blood Reaver Gul'dan does not allow it to happen. And additionally to that, Bone Mares and Scalebanes put a lot of pressure on. Again, Zoo has transitioned into a much more mid-range deck.
It's bigger, yeah.
Than it used to be.
The big minions, they get really solid trades up against the Taunt minions, because Taunt minions have really high health and low attack. So beefy mid-range minions get to trade into them without dying and then still be a threat on the board.
Right. In this matchup now, though, I don't think CompLexity has the freedom to throw away Fireplume's Heart anymore. I do not think it's an option. They have to deliver fatal damage.
I'm not so sure. Like, Primordial Drake is still like really solid coming down on 8. If you can just kind of curve out, it might be a better chance than completing the quest.
You are going to get Bone Mared at some point, and when your opponent Bone Mares you need to hit something for 8.
It's a tough call. It's a matchup that you don't really see too often, as Taunt Warrior is not really played on the ladder currently.
Yeah. I've still played a lot of Taunt Warrior, and Zoo is a matchup that I have beaten very few times.
There's no Fiery War Axe anymore.
That's another big hit, too.
Oh, man.
That's why I actually talked about Team Liquids yesterday with the Doomsayers. I tried out Doomsayer to try to fill that void in the 2 slot where you're missing that removal piece. And it's worked quite well for me. The problem with it is when you're in a tournament like this, you're going to run into a very wide range of decks.
Right.
So if your opponent has brought Taunt Warrior, or if your opponent's playing Control Warlock, suddenly that Doomsayer looks much less appealing.
Yeah, we saw that
Before, 6
happen.
damage was great.
Yeah. Oh, man. How do they deal with a Vicious Fledgling? They need like Whirlwind Execute, or they need a Shield Slam. Otherwise, that minion is going to be sticking.
Yep.
Or maybe they run the 3-mana War Axe. Would you run that in Taunt Warrior?
I have not run it because Ravaging Ghoul and Acolyte I think are necessary.
Okay, and it's just too many things. Yeah. Okay.
The Doomsayer would have prevented this from coming out this turn, but suddenly this is the change that happens when that Fiery War Axe changes. Let's see how CompLexity is going to change.
I mean, there's a reason we play this deck last.
Free health rank? Yeah.
Yes. And then we play the captain.
And
trade flame a win. Yes. Yeah, if we didn't get plus 3 health, I would consider just tapping, but since we play on Sleepless Officials by plus health, I like committing more. But we do trade with a flame limp.
I think we have to shield block, find Brawl.
Yep. I don't see anything else.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah, we don't really have other options, so.
Do we auto first or tap first?
No, we tap first because if we get the 1-mana 2/1, we probably play that on the fetchling.
I think
Okay, we commit that. I think that's an overcommitment.
I think we pick Wind Fury.
Yes.
And try to get that cycle now. You're the best.
Truth is found in London.
Okay, yeah, good job, guys.
Oh. You play the alley.
The alley
Saves us the most health, right?
puts damage on the. Nah, it's fine. Yeah, we gotta play it, I guess.
Yeah. Attack Reaper Armor Smith doesn't do it.
No.
If you do that, trade.
Wait. I hate it when it's complicated.
It's 10.
So. No, it's not even close.
14. We only have 14, right? If we get
And they,
3 attack, it's whistle.
If what?
Wait.
If we get 3 attack,
You know
It's
that they get
whistle.
4 armor from the 2/7, right?
The armor, right? They only get 2.
they only get 2. So it's
Yeah.
17 if we get
Oh, you want
3.
the Soulfire?
Yeah.
No, right.
Let's go for
I
it.
was thinking Doomguard was do more damage. I'm stupid, yeah. You're
So
right.
we play Crystal Weaver's Soulfire, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, do that.
Total corruption. Total power.
Oh,
Trade Captain then, I guess. Trade first. Yeah. Go face with this. Go face with 3/6 first. Why are we going face with 3/6 last? Okay, yeah.
let's go.
Unlucky. That's the wrong +3. Take Divine Shield.
No. Better luck next week, guys.
Well played, guys.
Well printed.
Really happy to play this like really complicated deck. Win.
Oh my goodness, Firebat.
Zoo!
That is exactly what Planet Odd had this week. And much as we were talking about yesterday, this 6-0 win is important due to that tiebreaker score. When you're
Right.
down in matches,
And
you need to bring it back.
There's no team that needs tiebreaker score more than Planet Odd, actually. Currently, they were 1-3. Now they're up to 2-3. So they're still not in a great position in the standings. So they are most likely going to have to incur some tiebreakers. And being a 6-0 here, their tiebreaker score just went way up, helping them immensely at chances for making it to that land final.
And this is now back-to-back sweeps in Trinity Series. Back-to-back Warlock sweeps in Trinity Series. Different deck, but still back-to-back sweeps. That is something incredible.
Yeah. Blood Reaver Gul'dan is good.
It's very good. 6 wins is pretty good, too. It was 6, right?
6, yeah.
Yeah.
6 and 6.
It's a lot of wins with
It's
Warlock.
a lot of wins
Now,
with
don't
Warlock.
just go queuing Warlock on ladder. This deck is quite weak to Druid into Priest. Zoo is a different story, though. If you want to go jam Zoo,
Zoo's good against Druid and Priest,
Have
and
at
is
it.
still good enough that they're choosing to bring it while banning Druid and Priest.
Yeah, and
it's
there's-
just a really well-rounded deck.
and again, there's that standing now. So even though Planet Odd has a 2-3 match record,
Right.
they're 24-23 in games.
That's
Even
pretty
when
solid,
they're losing,
yeah.
they're still kind of winning.
They're up there. They have more wins than losses while losing.
And mind you, they're looking for those top 4 slots. You see those teams in gold. That's where you want to be at the end of the season, because those 4 teams are what come here to the Intel Esports Arena and battle in that live final. So that's what these teams now have 2 more weeks to do. But there's 1 more match still left for today to be played. But before we get to that, we do have an interview with Planet Odd. We got Hoy on the line. And my goodness, man, 6-0 with Warlock. You got to be feeling good.
Yeah, it feels really good. Like I didn't expect that.
What did you expect coming into this series? I mean, Zoo's been an emerging deck, but talk to us overall about your preparation for this week.
We kind of did some of the same things like we did the last week, but that didn't work out. So I don't know how it worked out this weekend. We did the same bands and pick, but we got some really, really fortunate draws, and it worked out.
Do you think Halloween's affecting anything here? Do you think Warlock is summoning some dark power from another world?
Well, I didn't even have the new Warlock skin, so I don't know. But yeah, probably.
And so now with 2-3 in your standings, this decisive win actually puts you guys as a positive game win score in Trinity Series. With 2 weeks left, are you still feeling confident to make it to the live final?
Yeah, I have to admit, we felt like we couldn't make it after we were 1-3. But after this 6-0, it definitely gave us way more motivation to maybe we can make it. I think this was exactly what we need to get our mental focus back into it, and I think we can make it to the playoffs now.
Well, you got to put up 2 more wins, but I think you can do it. You got 2 guys going to the World Championship, and your game win score this week put on a 6-0 costume. Congratulations on your win, and good luck in your next 2 weeks.
Thanks.
Of course, Hoy was the spring winner of Hearthstone Championship Tour this year, and Surrender was the summer winner. So both those guys going to be in Amsterdam in January for the World Championships.
Wow, super exciting for them.
Yeah.
Lots of accomplishments on their team, and I'm happy to see them starting to do a little bit better. These caliber of players going 1-3 is always sad to see.
Yeah, I think they've had some unfortunate luck, but things have been turned around. They had some unfortunate plays in the first couple weeks as well. But we got another match in Trinity Series. It is Love You Lots is going to be taking on